Hey, welcome to my fasting journey. I am currently on a mission to optimize not only my mind, but my body as well. So I'm going on a journey to figure out what works optimally for my body as far as what I consume. We take care of our cars, we take care of our apartments, we take care of our clothes, but we do not take care of the number one thing that is actually, if you really think about it, only ours, our body. So, what am I doing? I've fasted 7 days water fasted. I've done 3 days. I've done 4 days. I've done so many different fasts, so many different ways. So now I'm getting to the point of understanding what should I continuously look for. So this week I've never done a vegetarian raw veggie diet, shall I say. Last 2 weeks I did a raw fruit fast, which was my first ever genuine food fast. I've been doing liquid fast for the majority of my journey. So now I'm starting to implement altering my diet in my fasting routine, not just completely avoiding my diet. So I was vegetarian to begin with, so obviously this will make it much easier for me to adapt. However, this week was actually the most challenging fast that I've ever done because I know I was eating. However, it didn't feel like I was eating. It felt like I was chewing water. As of the last 2 weeks, which was much easier, which I had no idea how it could be so easy because of all the natural sugars and bananas, watermelon, it's sweet. So although it's just fruit, it's still mentally stimulating. Whereas vegetables really have no strong, distinctive, overstimulating taste. So you really have to appreciate the benefits you're eating more than understanding what you are actually tasting. So what I've learned from this specific fast is my cardio, my salt intake, my sodium intake is what I was trying to say, has increased dramatically, and also the want for sodium. So the first day actually of this vegetarian fast was quite challenging. I was feeling like I was eating, but I didn't really feel satisfied. So I was quite disappointed. I was already in a mental battle with myself of wanting to do this fast because I knew it wasn't going to be the same as the fruit fast. However, day two, I actually had the leftovers, which actually were broccoli, we had carrots, beets, we had mushrooms, we had the rice, of course, and we have corn. So I put all the vegetables in a pot and put water in it and boiled it. The first night I kind of overboiled it, so it was really mushy. It was really just like rice. Second day I had the leftovers. I had yuca as well. The yuca added a very nice contrast, which would have been non-existent otherwise. It would have been almost just mash, mush. And so I had the leftovers the second night, and then the third night I actually cooked it a little better because I didn't boil it for as long, so it had a little more consistency, so it gave more contrast. And then I put a little bit more water, and this time adding a little bit more water allowed the vegetables to almost make a broth, which I was able to add to the rice to make it more of a soupy texture. And with the contrast of the harder vegetables and the yuca made the bowl for day three actually quite delicious. And I had the bowl for day three without having the disappointing reaction I did the first 2 days of not feeling appreciative of what I'm eating. So for those highlights for me is that I am almost in a reset of my consumption palette, which would be ideal for me to be able to eat as much as I want. And for benefits wise, yes, okay, that might not have tasted as good, but I had beets, broccoli, mushroom. I had so many, and that's the point of eating. The point of eating is to benefit your body, not for taste. However, when we grow up with a expectations of what food should taste like, that's what we live the rest of our life wanting. So I'm currently in that realm of trying to reset my nature unplanned, honestly, because I wanted to just fast because I understood the benefits of fasting, which are, to me, when I'm fasted, all my abilities inside of my body that would help me hunt and find food can now go into my productivity in every other area of my life, which is why I personally loved fasting. So now that I've gotten to fasting to be comfortable, I can start to expand, and that's where I currently am, expanding my dietary regimen, So I'm quite fascinated to see how I will continue to take this journey because I've taken a shift that it wasn't necessarily planned or thought out. However, here I am, and I'm super excited to see how this will continuously benefit me. Sleep, productivity level, everything has gotten even to the point of appreciating what you do eat. So this week, next week, Thursday is Thanksgiving, so I'm having to push my fast a day earlier for next week. So that means I just fasted for, going on 87 hours, and for the next 2 days is the only days I really will be able to eat because Sunday night will be my last meal. So what does that mean? I'm going to appreciate these little bit of meals I'm able to eat before I restrict myself. So even the small things like that, it's about discipline. There's times when I think, oh, I want to eat, but I'm not really hungry. I just want to stimulate my mind because I'm bored. So I'm working on so many different characteristic skills within helping my dietary restrictions better myself. So there's so many benefits going on right now, and I'm super excited and happy that I'm taking this path and committed to stay on this path. I will see you next week to see what fast I did and how it affected my body. Welcome to week 2 of this month's 72-hour fast. I'm going on hour 83. Normally I fast between Tuesdays and Thursdays, allowing myself to eat on Friday. However, this week I fasted Monday through Wednesday, allowing myself to eat today, which is Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving Thursday. Happy Thanksgiving. So, what does that mean? That means last week I fasted for over 80 hours, and then for only the next 72 hours, I was able to eat before my next fast commenced, which was this fast. I want to mention that I didn't do coffee this week, so I notated that I was able to enter my fasted state much easier, much faster, getting to the point of vivid, deep sleep. I have not gotten fasted sleep while consuming ever. Anytime that I ate during a fast, I've gotten good sleep compared to when I eat regular dietary. However, never a vivid, deep sleep. I fasted so much now that I can tell the difference between a fasted sleep, a fasted Rob, and a normal consumption Rob. So to see that last night was quite fascinating. I also want to notate when I'm in my fasted state, which I was able to be in much more this time, my priority of sleep goes up tremendously. For me, sleep and mental health is a priority 100%. However, I have a long list of priorities that need to get done to survive in the United States, right? So, when I'm fasted, unless that task needs to be done immediately, yes, it could be conveniently done now to get it done out the way so I can have freer time to get other things done later. Unless that it needs to get done right now, the deadline is right now, today, my body prioritizes sleep. So over the last 2 days, if I didn't have something that needed to be turned in right now, my body said it is time to rest. Everything else that you need to do will be okay. You need to rest and reset. So I take those opportunities because when I am not in my fasted state, the only thing I can think about, unless I'm sleeping, which I have to put myself to sleep, I'm thinking about work. So I love to see my natural body take over my consciousness of wanting to do something and actually put myself to sleep. That was quite fascinating to see for myself in a consumption mode because I did eat. I ate after 5 o'clock, no coffee in the morning, nothing but water in the morning, and then after 5 o'clock I did fruit. I did bananas, I did plantain, I did watermelon, I did blueberry, I did oranges, and for dinner I pretty much did a smashed plantain bed. For the first night I did avocado, raspberry, raisin, lemon juice, lemon zest sauce, laid it on top, and then I chopped up some tomatoes, put that on top. The next night I did pretty much the same thing. However, I fried the avocados instead, more of a pizza. And then the last night I did the plantains chopped up and had the sauce as a dip, almost as a chips and dip. Then I munched on blueberries, watermelon, for dessert or pre-snacks before dinner was done. I am super excited to continue this journey to figure out how my body reacts in certain states. I'm actually very proud that I'm able to reach the fasted state, at least for sleep, while still consuming. I'm also super proud of resetting my palate. The more I continue to eat just fruit, one, the more creative I get. I was able to eat the same meal 3 times, 3 different ways, and not lose the mental stimuli, but also still gain the benefits. I'm eating blueberries, watermelon, plantains. Yes, they taste good, but they come with benefits. Why do you go to the gym? Yes, to work out. But what are you doing? You're doing legs, you're doing arms. Same thing with food. Okay, you're hungry. Why are you eating a burger? Why are you eating blueberries? Yes, they both fill your hunger sensation, but one actually comes with benefits. So I love that I'm resetting my palate to genuinely crave natural sugars, no processed food, which I didn't eat anyway. However, to really ingrain it into my system, not want salt. I'm not wanting any salt, any seasoning, no sour cream is needed. So when I get it, it's a nice addition to what I'm eating, and I'm able to enjoy it much more because it's not something I eat on a daily, but it's not something that's needed. It's not a mindset, oh, I can't eat plantains because I have no sour cream to dip it. There's so many other ways to make it worth eating, and I'm able to cultivate that and utilize my creativeness to keep my mind stimulated, but also to see it. I've never theoretically done what I've done this week with plantains, so now I know that's an option. And actually, the smashed plantain burger bed, whatever you want to call it, was phenomenal. I could genuinely eat that meal as dinner for the next week with no problem. So I would love to keep figuring out fun ways to create fruits and vegetables to stimulate my mind, but also reset my palate to be okay with just eating that. So I'm going to continue this journey. I love that I was able to reach a fasted state while consuming. So if I was able to consume that all week, would I be able to be in a fasted state all week while consuming? These are questions that come with answers over time as you continuously test things out, which is exactly what I'm going to continuously do. I'm super excited for myself to continue this journey. I will see you next week to see what fast I did and how my body reacted. Okay, yet again, another fasted week is complete. I am almost at the 85-hour mark of this week's fast. I piggybacked on last week's fruit fast, and that is exactly what I did this week with no coffee in the morning. So only allowing myself to eat raw fruit after 5 p.m. What I'm really starting to love about this progression is that I'm genuinely not wanting to eat. So removing coffee was more of a choice in the beginning. However, now it's a want. I prefer to go through my fasted stages if I'm going to be consuming something to give myself that break. And to emphasize on that point a little bit further, last week was Thanksgiving, so I started my fast a little earlier in the week. So 2 weeks ago, I had a shorter weekend of eating, and then last weekend after Thanksgiving is when I started my fast, which was Thursday, and getting back to my normal routine of Monday night was theoretically long for me. And about Saturday night, Sunday afternoon, the voice inside of my head was saying, okay, I'm ready to fast. I'm ready to tone it down. I'm ready to remove certain foods from my palate. I'm ready to stop chewing. And it's so fascinating to see my natural instincts talk to me in that nature. I'm loving that with this raw fruit and vegetable fast that I'm doing, that not only am I training myself to not eat with the fasting, but now I'm also altering my diet to where I'm in no longer of a need to want to consume salt. I'm able to enjoy flavors for what they are without having to add as many ulterior necessities such as seasonings or salt to give it flavor. I'm able to appreciate the fruit, the vegetable, whatever I'm eating for what it is without feeling it is lacking of something naturally, without even me having to trick my mind into believing it. I am genuinely resetting my taste buds to believe it, which is quite fascinating because if we really think about it, the base of who we are, we really should just be eating fruits and vegetables as they are. We've just come to, as a community, wanting to have a specific taste, and if it doesn't have a specific taste that we are looking for, we feel as though it is flavorless. However, we have implanted that flavor that we are seeking. So to see myself reset my palate in real time is so fascinating. A big goal of mine would be to, fast for 7 days, water, or a month, and not have to mentally muscle through it, but genuinely feel okay with fasting, genuinely feel okay with going 7 days without food and not having to feel fatigue, not having to feel lower energy, not having to feel frustration or a want or a fear of missing out or any other negative connotations that one could have by not eating. So I'm super proud of myself for continuing this journey. This week I did my plantain bed. The first night I did smashed plantain bed with my avocado spread, raisins, cranberries, lemon juice, lemon zest, and then I had one apple and four blueberries. The second night I had my plantain bread with my avocado spread, one apple, and that was it. And so the first night actually was only three plantains. The second night was only two plantains, and the second night I also chopped it instead of having it smashed. And last night, which was the third night, I did it smashed again, the smashed plantain sheet with the avocado spread, and then I had one apple. And those are all. First night was 9 o'clock, and I really ate because I wanted to cook more than I wanted to eat. And the last two nights, I was actually a little hungry, but nothing tremendous. It was just, let me put something in my body to just get me through the rest of the day, or in the morning, more so of a precaution. And it was just two plantains and an apple, three plantains and an apple with some avocado spread, some cranberries and raisins. So I'm super proud of myself for keeping myself accountable and getting to the point where this has become natural and almost a need in my life rather than a want. It's going from I want to fast to I need to fast. I feel as though I'm eating too much. I've consumed too much. I've been chewing too much. I really want just a break. And to see that in real time is so fascinating. It never fails to amaze me. The sleep is phenomenal. I didn't get into the deepest sleep possible like I did last week. The sleep was still phenomenal. However, I'm not quite sure why I was able to get into that deep of a sleep last week, and it was really only the last night. So that's something worth notating. And I am super excited to continue this journey. I'm gonna probably do a fruit fast next week, or maybe a vegetable fast next week. Who knows what fast I'm gonna do? However, I'm gonna keep doing them. I'm going to continue this journey of figuring out how to reset my body to its natural optimal state. Stay tuned for next week to see what I do and how my body reacts. Okay, after almost 84 hours this week, we are currently wrapping up my first official month completely raw fasting. So this week was yet again another week I fasted completely without coffee, green tea, strictly water until 5 p.m. And since this was the last week within this vegetable and fruit fast, raw fruit fast, shall I say, I decided to mix it up just a little bit and to mix them together. So this week I did a raw fruit and vegetable fast, making a dinner with the two, and really just piggybacking off what I've done over the last couple of weeks. So the first week of this month I did the vegetarian veggies only fast. I did almost a stir fry with rice, and then I started to play with the plantains, making my mashed plantain bed and avocado spread. So what I did was for the first night I actually got in super late, had a busy day, so I only had plantains chopped up with a little bit of avocado. But then the next night is when my creativity struck. I did mashed sweet potatoes with seared broccoli, onions on top, with chopped plantains around and corn. And then the very next day I did my smashed plantain bed over half a sweet potato with corn around and the broccoli and onions surrounding the plantains. And of course those last two dishes were topped with raisins and cranberries to add a little bit of consistency and sweetness. I had avocado. I bought avocado, but I did not use it at all this week. I used a little bit from what I had previously on my first night, but I never made fresh avocado, but I did buy it. I was planning to put it on the sweet potato, but I never really needed to, which is why the cranberries and raisins were there to add that level of sweetness without being overly sweet or too creamy. I just left it at what it was, and it turned out to be phenomenal. The dishes were outstanding. The mashed potato dish was good, but if I had to choose which one, I preferred last night's dinner. I love the smashed plantains. It soaked up the juices from the sweet corn, which was unsalted. So when I say raw, I mean no seasonings, no salt, no creams, nothing outside of the fruit and vegetable itself. So as far as benefits, because I have done a 7-day water fast, because I've done just coffee and green tea, just liquid fast, I know I'm not feeling the benefits as if I was someone who was just starting out fasting and of that nature. Of course, I did have moments of slight hunger, but then I drank some water and realized it was just dehydration. And honestly, this is why I love taking this journey because it's about teaching me one that I'm just thirsty most of the time. I'm not really hungry, but we never really been taught that. So I love that to teach myself this, I have to just go through this journey. And then what I love about this journey now is I've gotten so accustomed to fasting that I can play with it. So this month wasn't even necessarily about fasting per se. This month was about resetting my palate. I want to be able to eradicate salt from my dishes. I want to be able to taste food for what it is and enjoy it without feeling it is lacking something else. And if I'm in a predicament where I can add some sour cream to amplify the flavor, okay, great, but I don't want to have to force myself in a position where my taste buds are reliant on outside sources other than what I genuinely need. So, what I loved about these dishes also is not only were they extremely delicious, the bite palette, the combinations you can make, this was a complete dish. Every single thing on that plate has a benefit. I eat for benefit. When you go to the gas station to get gas for your car, why are you getting gas? Because your car needs gas to run, not just because you're bored, not just because gas is fun to pump. You get it for a reason, and that's how I feel we should look at food. Why are we eating what we eat? What benefits are you going to give me by me consuming you? So, resetting my diet, resetting my palate, grasping hold of my self-control of I'm hungry, I'm bored, to I'm either bored and I know I'm bored so I need to meditate or find something to keep myself occupied, reading, exercising, or drink water because I understand I'm dehydrated, and it's okay to be dehydrated, which is just your body letting you know that it's time to refill up on water. So I'm going right back to the benefits because I realized I just slipped on it a little bit. Of course, I got benefits. It's just harder and harder and harder for me to be able to tell because it is becoming my new natural. My sleep is phenomenal. I get so much more done in that morning once I'm fasted. Once I eat, I'm pretty much done for the day and I can feel it. And what I'm also starting to notice is that my body is starting to be accustomed to fasting. I'm super excited to continue this journey. I'm loving also what I'm doing is because I fast during the week and then I try to really indulge on the weekend, still healthily. Of course, I'm vegetarian, so I'm still mindful, a chef at that, so I'm very mindful of what I eat, but I like to really indulge and treat myself for an accomplished week of not eating and palate shifting. So I really love this contrast I'm doing. I'm self-disciplined, resetting my palate during the week, and then treating myself. And you appreciate the food so much more. You're way, even, I was already selective. I'm even more selective now because I understand, one, my palate is changing and the standards of what my expectations are increasing. And two, you haven't ate in the last couple of days at least sugars and besides natural sugars, at least sugars, at least different textures. And it also gives me time to create. It gives me time to think, oh, okay, I finally get to eat in the next 28 hours. What do I want to cook? What's my first meal? So I get to sit down and digest and try to create a plate. What I also loved about this raw fruit and vegetable dish is I was able to still use my curation within my fasted plates. These last two plates were phenomenal. I am so excited to continue this journey to see how far I'm able to take raw fruits and vegetables, even getting to a book, a recipe book. Where at this rate, I really love the last night dish. Last night dish deserves to be on a restaurant. You might see a vegetarian only restaurant owned by yours truly here within the next 10 years or so. However, I'm rambling. I hope you use this as motivation to start a fasting journey. If for not resetting your palate, if for not understanding what dehydration is compared to boredom eating, for the simple mental discipline, the mental strength you gain from having control over the voice inside of your head that always constantly is telling you things that isn't necessarily at its most important at this current moment, because it is led by fear, it is led by comfortability. So continuously putting yourself in uncomfortable positions and growing is the way to make something of yourself. And you just being here watching this video to get inspired shows a lot of character from yourself. So pat yourself on the back and take your first step today. If you're used to eating every 3-4 hours, try to go up to 5-6 hours. You don't have to jump to 7-day water fast immediately. Work on baby steps. Always congratulate yourself on the small wins to keep yourself motivated, and take week by week. You see what I'm doing, week by week, inch by inch, testing different things out along the way, and that is how you obtain any dream, any goal you have in your mind. Be blessed and enjoy the rest of your day.